Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Tonight we are going to take a look at the new Western Star Wolf Pack. This includes a 57X, which is in the middle, 47X, which is on the far end, and nearest to us is the 47X variant, which has basically, I would consider it like a dump truck. You know, with the extra wheels, it can carry extra weight, and then you can pull the two tags up in the middle there. And, you know, one of these things in the game, some of the trucks, it seems like the tag lifts help when you're in the mud. Some of the other trucks seem like they just encumber the truck. In this case, I feel like they're a little bit of an encumbrance, but they can help you keep the load pushed up out of the mud, which helps you not bog down. So, this is going to be kind of a look at, is this worth it? Is it, you know, we'll take the trucks for a little bit of a spin. However, I want to put it out there that we also have a longer form video that Micah and JVS and I took these trucks fully upgraded, or mostly upgraded, and drove them from this garage here in the beginning of Michigan all the way through the 4 maps to the port in Drummond Island. And so we really put these trucks to the test and beat the crap out of them and let them, and to see how they worked, if they were any good. And surprisingly, I would say if you're towards the end of the game or mid-game, so that you have the upgrades available, these trucks are surprisingly good. None of them have diff lock except for the variant, and none of them have all-wheel drive, period. However, in our testing, it seemed like they were able to actually, that's not true. I apologize. The 1430, which is on the end there with the Wolf, that is the standard 47X, or the non-variant version. It does not have the tag lifts. That one has diff lock. The variant does not have diff lock, so I apologize. I said that wrong. However, in our testing, we found that all three of them, it feels like, and if you watch the wheels, okay, in a standard slip differential, when, let's say the left wheel gets stuck in mud, the right wheel will start spinning, which stinks because then you don't get any traction, because if the right wheel doesn't have traction, then it's just spinning. And vice versa. If the right wheel stops turning, it transfers power over to the left wheel, and that one will just spin out of control. And you won't get any and so what the diff lock does in a truck is it locks those wheels together so that they have to both turn. This prevents a situation when you're in loose material of the truck having one wheel spin and the other one just sitting. It keeps both wheels turning. However, when you're on dry pavement, that can damage the truck in real life, because what happens is as you turn corners and stuff, your wheels need to, you know, obviously the wheels, let's say I'm turning to the right. The wheels on the right side of my truck will actually turn slower than the wheels on the left. And what I mean by that is revolutions. So if the right tire makes 15 revolutions, the left tire that's on the outside of the turn has to make 18 revolutions to get that same turn. If you have them locked together, it'll cause the tires to wear out. It'll actually overheat the differential, and it'll cause it to have problems. That's why in the game, when you get going too fast on a non-loose surface, it warns you, hey, your differentials are going to get damaged. Well, that's a true thing that happens in real life. When you're having lock diffs, you should be on loose surfaces only, and you should never be going more than maybe 5 or 10 miles an hour. Same thing with off-road vehicles. If you take a Jeep off-roading and you pull over and stop and you lock the differentials, it is low gear. You have a max speed of about 5 or 6 miles an hour. These three trucks, though, are a little bit different. Even though only one of them has a locking diff, they all seem to have a limited slip differential going on. Micah and I did some testing, and JVS, and we found that the wheels on both sides, even when one wheel stops turning on the one side, it doesn't ever happen. The wheels are always, they might turn at different speeds, but they both continue to turn. You don't have a situation where the left wheel's not turning and the right wheel's spinning. And that happens in this game a lot. They do model that. So with these three trucks, that does not happen. So it seems like they have some kind of active limited slip differential going on, which is a good thing, because that helps you maybe act more like you have differential on the truck. So that helps us out. So I just wanted to pass that information on to you because I think that out of all of our testing, that's what we found the most interesting is these trucks seem like they won't do really well off-road, but they actually do very well off-road. Not as good as a fully upgraded all-wheel drive differential truck, but good enough for Michigan, good enough for Alaska, good enough for some of these early maps that you play. You know, while they struggled in deep mud, all of them, they were able to handle the rest of the maps pretty smoothly. So once again, I would suggest that you check out our video where we take these trucks through Michigan because we had a lot of fun, but it also was a good chance to try them out. Now, the 47X regular, which is what I'm looking at right now with the Wolves on it, this only can carry that flatbed and or the blue bed. And then it also gets a crane, and it gets the high or low saddle. That's the only things that fit on this truck. So it's a little bit limited in what it can do. It's mostly meant to be a semi-truck where it's a tractor-trailer. Obviously, the 57X, which is in the middle, the truck we're sitting in, this truck is definitely made for on-road usage. While you can set it up for some off-road usage, it is an on-road truck. However, that said, it does really well off-road. We were surprised at how well this truck did. You have to be careful, obviously, because it's got low cowlings that hang down that you can, count as damage. The other thing, too, unfortunately, both of these trucks come with lift kits. Actually, I think it was this one and this one come with lift kits. This one has an active suspension or a raised suspension. For whatever reason, I have not found, even though we've gone through like a ton of the maps on this game, this specific save game that we've been playing, I don't have those lifts unlocked. So I'm going to have to figure out where they put them. It's probably in one location. So you'll find it, and it'll unlock the raised for all three trucks. But right now I cannot lift these trucks. Therefore, we could not test them with the larger tires, which sucks because that is definitely going to give you an improvement in how they handle. So they handled well, but they probably will handle quite a bit better, actually, in some cases, in the deeper mud if you have the raised kits. I don't know where the raised kit is. I'm sure it's out there on the web, easy to find. So I'm not going to bug with that today. But now, we are looking at these trucks in their base form. This is what they give you. Aside from the paint jobs, when you first get the trucks. I've started a new game here, and I wanted to see if they came with any kind of special tires, anything unlocked. All three of the trucks have the biggest motor unlocked if you want to buy it and put it in. They also all have snorkels unlocked. Some of them are like one snorkel's unlocked and the other one isn't. Some of the details are unlocked, like the lights that go on the top, angled visors, stuff like that. You have about half of them, okay? But the truck upgrades, the things that really count, they're the same locks that you have for all the trucks. So unfortunately, better tires and stuff won't come until you actually get better tires in the game. These trucks don't have special like Western Star mud tires that you get because you bought the trucks. So they're not going to really, unfortunately, and see, to me this is kind of where they've missed the mark. They're not going to give you much of an in-game advantage early on. So if you start a new game and you've purchased this DLC, you'll have all three of these trucks for free. They come in the garage. And honestly, right now, they're probably best at just selling them and upgrading the trucks like the Fleet Star that have all-wheel drive and that have, the lock differential and stuff like that you can actually use early in the game because these trucks are just not going to be very capable with the crappy tires. So you might want to just sell them at first, and then as the game progresses, then you can buy them. But once again, they're only going to really do great on these maps. The Michigan maps, the Alaska maps, maybe some of Wisconsin, probably the second map of Yukon, but the first map, heck no. Don't even bother with these on the first map of the Yukon. But these are road trucks. They really aren't meant for much heavy off-roading. So it's one of those hard, like, place in my place in this world type things where, unfortunately, these trucks just don't necessarily fit in anywhere well. So does that make them worth it or not worth it? Well, that's up for you to decide, but I kind of feel like not necessarily really worth it. How much are you going to use these? Because they're not as capable as definitely not as capable as some of the other DLC trucks. I mean, obviously, the Crocodile to me is an A+ truck. You got to get that. The Thatcher trucks are A+. That Thatcher A13 is unstoppable. My wife, She started a game. She's been using the A13. It comes with mud tires. It's 8-wheel drive. It gives you a truck that you can really start the game with and pull all the stuck cars out, not really get stuck much in the mud. Now, a little bit pay to win, but if you want to get through the game and have an easy ride, the Crocodile pack, the Tatra pack, those are going to be better suited to you. If you're looking for more of a challenge, or you just love Western Star and you want to have the Western Star trucks in the game, well, this is pretty cool to have these modern trucks in, and you will be able to use them. And in fact, some of these missions, they have those overarching full map missions where you have to deliver stuff to all over the place. You may find that that's a good place to do these, or maybe some of the logging missions later on in the game when you have the features of the trucks unlocked that will help them get through the bad parts of the map. But you will be doing some winching with these trucks, and you may want to have a more capable truck on standby to help them out when they get stuck. So let's go ahead, and we're gonna take a look inside each of these trucks now. Really, and the other thing that came with this pack, you got the 2 paint jobs. You also got 4 new stickers. Like, whatever, who cares? Maybe you really do. I don't. But the sticker thing to me is like, eh. But this is what this truck looks like inside. It's definitely the cab of the 49X/57X. Look at the size of the sleeper in this thing. Now, I believe this truck just also came out for American Truck Sim, or is coming soon. I think it's already out. But it's a nice truck. Good looking truck, and we can play around with an American truck too, because that's a nice thing. And oops, that's not what I wanted to do, but there we go. All right, and then I'm going to hop into our 1430 here. This is the truck with the raised, and the problem is I'm trying to do the menu and I'm in the garage zone, so let me move out here. And you can see here we got the raising and lowering of the wheels. We'll do that real quick here so you can see. This is what makes this truck special. Boop. That's it. Boop. Yeah. So that'll help it on dry roads and paved roads and stuff like that. I don't know that's going to help you much in the mud. Maybe a little bit. Maybe on the ice, though, where it spreads the weight out. So maybe that'll be a good truck for Alaska. I don't know. And then last but not least, we have the 1424. And this truck pretty much behaves and looks the same as the other one. They look almost the same inside as the 49X, which was an earlier DLC. Once again, another truck. Now, that one has diff lock and all-wheel drive. And was pretty capable, but it tended to flip over a lot if you put weight on top of it. So, once again, I'm not sure if that truck's even worth it either. These are, once again, I think for people that really like Western Star and want to have them in the game, because there are trucks in the game that are just built in that are more capable than these trucks. But they have some neat features. The other big thing, too, is because they don't have all-wheel drive and they don't have lockable diffs, they get great mileage. That's something that we did not expect. You can get across a map with about a quarter tank of fuel. So that's one thing to think about. It is a benefit of these trucks. Here's the interior of the 47X. And the 47X variant looks the same inside, so there's really no difference between the two of these. Nice truck. Looks like a comfy truck in real life. So I'm happy with that. Hold on. All right, so now we're looking at the upgrades in the garage. So this is the 57X. There's 4 engines available. We have all 4 gearboxes. It does come with a hidden raised, and explore blank to find this item. And I think this is a bug. Now, once again, this DLC came out about 2 days ago. They will fix this. Who knows when, though? It probably will be pretty soon. They seem to fix this stuff pretty quick because people are going to gripe. I mean, honestly, that's a big mistake right there to release a DLC and not have stuff available for it. Oops, unless it's coming later on in the game in another map. But as of right now, no one can have the raised suspension. Once again, see, these are the bigger tires. You can see already like what it looks like to have the raised suspension. Normal, raised. And, of course, that makes a big difference when you get into these bigger, 44. These are, okay, so 44 inches is the biggest that you can have on these, not 48. I think we mentioned that in the other video. We said 48, but got all the winches, spare wheel, and snorkels. This does have snorkels. Ta-da. Frame add-ons. You can pull logs, a loading crane, saddle high, saddle low, and that's to be expected for this kind of truck. You can honestly get higher side panel there, and I would suggest that because you're going to be banging the crap out of these. Roof fog lights, that'd be a nice addition. I didn't put that on my truck. Front bumpers, you can see we got a couple. Here's the regular one. Then you got a couple buff bumpers. And by the way, those chains are full physics there on the front. They do wiggle as you drive for a little eye candy. Both of these are tough bumpers. This one has some extra lights. Factory horn. That's a weird way to put the horns on there. I don't know. That looks a little better to have on top, but still strange. Okay. Several different exhausts. Look at that. That's ridiculous. This must be the California standard. Oh, yeah, they're out the bottom there. And then snub heat shielded and straight out flat cap. All the rims. All of them. Lots of different colors. And this cool paint job. This is the other paint job, not the Eagle one that we had. Moving right along. We have the second truck. Engines, once again, all four are available. Now, when you first start out, you just have the big one and this one. I usually go with actually the middle, this one right here. Gearbox is the same. This is the variant model, by the way, guys, with the drop suspension. Once again, this has no options on suspension. So the tires are 44 or 44. And basically just have the same tires that all the other trucks do. Same winches. Got 2 snorkels to pick from, tall and short. And this truck has all the frame add-ons. It's got a longer tongue, and so it can hold all the different options that are available for the trucks, or most of them anyway, including I think it has the crane. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. It does have the big crane. So it can be a crane truck. Some of the options, you got big sun visor, all kinds of lighting kits for the front, like that. And then you also have, this is cool, like you have the full-on, like, face mask football player right there. It's several different pipe options. And a full gamut of rims, just like all the other trucks. Actually, that's not true. This has only 6 of them available. Weird. And once again, you've seen the paint scheme. This is the cool paint scheme, right? So that's the only, and then the rest are just solid colors. Looks good. All right. Last but not least, we have the regular 47X. I was going to say 59X. 4 motors, same suspension. Now this one's got an active suspension, which allows for manual control over road clearance for optimal performance on all kinds of terrain. It seems to me that it can just get lower and higher. As you press it, it goes a little higher to get over stuff. And then we have the full-on raised suspension. This gets 48-inch tires. Those are pretty dang big tires. So I think that might be bigger than any of the other trucks in its class. However, because we don't have the appropriate suspension and we can't get the appropriate suspension yet, these are not available yet. So at some point, it'll be a little bit more. Winches are the same. This does have an engageable diff lock, so this is the only truck that has diff lock. Snorkels, yes. And the frame add-ons. This is a weird one. Once again, very limited selection on the frame add-ons. That's it. But it does have, like the Russian trucks, a trunk repair or roof rack. Really, it says trunk, but it's roof rack. Then we have the same thing that the other one does. We have various lights and horns. Plus, we have the big selection. This one gets that or the football mask. I call it because it looks like a football helmet to me. I don't know why. Different pipes than the other trucks. I prefer, honestly, the stock ones or the flat cap. I like the flap caps. This one only, actually, there are a bunch of rims. Weird. I thought when I did this before, it only let me have 2 rims. I must be crazy. Okay. Wolfpack paint, obviously, we tried that already. And then we have that. I like this one. I really like that scheme. But it's got this. This is the other paint scheme that it comes with. That's pretty cool. And last but not least, we'll do some quick road tests with these trucks. So I'll be right back. All right. So these are the trucks as upgraded as I could get them. You can see they're a little beat up. We were running them. Micah, Javius, and I were running them. And you'll see that in the video. But we're just going to take them. I'm just going to take a short section of road here so you can see these trucks are pretty capable. Once again, I didn't change the fairings out on this one, so they're really low hanging. But it'd be nice to go from 43 to 44 inches on this truck. I went the wrong way. Dang it. Oh, no. And we're off to a good start already. So obvious issues with this truck. It's really long, so it's not going to be super maneuverable through tight corners. But it actually, honestly, throughout our trips today, it wasn't bad. And because it does not have diff lock or anything, it gets really good fuel economy. That's one way to look at it, right? I'm seeing already a lot of negative reviews. I was looking online, kind of seeing what other people were saying, and people were just so negative, like, this is just absolute garbage. Trash. They didn't try the trucks, apparently, because they're not. And you'll see, if you watch the video that we did with Micah and Javius, you'll see that they're not bad, actually. They're surprisingly good. In fact, it only took us about 40 minutes to make it through all 4 maps with these trailers and this current setup. So it was actually a fairly smooth trip, and it went pretty quick. About 15 minutes a map, maybe less. So that's not bad at all, especially because we went through a swamp. That added a lot of time going through the swamp on the dam, Smithville Dam. You can see here, it pulls right through. These are kind of mucky roads, but with those tires, no problem at all. Once again, we have no diff lock, so there's no point in trying to switch into it. But we can use low gear if we need to, and it does work. If you're in a situation where you're spinning quite a bit, low gear does actually help. So we're going to cut around here. And I do need to take this trailer back and sell it. Let's see if I can find. Here's a nice big mud patch. So we'll slow down. I'm going to put it in low. And you'll see us work our way through this. Now, we might get stuck. You can see here. Those front two. Now, I will say this. Look at this here. The back wheels do not have the diff. It's the front 2 of the back 4 that are not. They're turning together. So we have 3-wheel drive basically going on there, 3-axle drive. But it didn't do us any good. And that could be because there's rocks tying up my trailer. This trailer is terrible. There we go. But now you can see they're both digging in, and it's working. So, like I said, it seems like it's a limited slip issue, and it still delivers power to all the wheels. So in a sense, it is kind of like diff lock, but it still allows the wheels to turn separately too. And because of that, it does make the truck somewhat capable, even through bad terrain. So once again, the people that are like, oh, it's trash because it doesn't have all-wheel drive or because it doesn't have this or doesn't have that, it's not great. I mean, let's be honest. These trucks are not great, and I would not expect them to be great with the setups that they have. But they're also not trash. And once again, the Navistar is also another truck that's kind of a proof of that. Even though it doesn't have diff lock, isn't it? Or is it just that it only has diff lock? Man, it's been so long since I've driven the Navistar. But one of the pluses is that they do get through and they have great fuel. These trucks have really good mileage. So, anyway, I always try to find the positives. I'm going to go through one more section here, and then we'll get the other truck. So I'll be right back. All right, release the handbrake and come on down. I might let my doggy in. Sometimes speed with these things, too, helps, though, if you get into a muck. Yeah, so right there. You can see, I think that section of road, and like I said, out of all the trucks, I feel like this one was the one that did the best. And we got a crappy trailer with this truck, so. All right, so let's grab the next one. So this is our truck with the diff locks. It's not going to move as quickly as the other truck. It definitely runs a little bit slower. And I'm going to go out straight because, well, The other truck's parked in our way, so. Once again, we're pulling a nice heavy fuel tanker. It's about 3/4 full. You can see my battle damage from I hit a rock or something, you know. I claim no responsibility for the damage on the front of the 57X. That was all Javius. I was picking on him for wrecking up my truck. He was fine. He survived. You can see here we're not using any of the diff lock features. And like I said, these roads are about what these trucks are designed for. Took a little damage there. I'm going to fix that up right now because this truck has the repair rack on the roof. There we go. And if we turn the speed down, I can also put on the diff lock, which helps this truck get through some of the spots that the other trucks don't do as well. So I'd put this on the level of the GMC, except for the truck is a little bit heavier than the GMC, the 9500. So it actually ends up being a little bit better because it can kind of weight its way through, if you will. And we're almost back to where the other truck was. Once again, we have to watch the rocks and stuff. I apologize. We have puppies in the background. I got puppies for sale, and it's not going well. It's a whole other story. You can see here, this is where we're going to struggle in the mud. But it gets through, and like I said, we on our entire trip over, like I said, I would recommend, like I said. I apologize. I am repeating myself. In the video where we went through the entire map, you'll see us have to winch occasionally, and that is something that you will need to expect with these trucks. But here you can see in the mud, because of the diff lock, the truck goes right through. Turn the diff lock off, and we start to get a little bit stuck. But she does just fine. So that was this truck going through the hard spot. Let's just get down through this little corner here and park behind our orangey truck. And we'll bring the last truck up and we'll call it a night. So hopefully you guys have found this information useful. Once again, I think for the collector like me, I wanted these trucks. Why? Because I have all the other trucks in the game and I want all the trucks. I like them. I think they're cool. I think $6 for 3 trucks is not a bad deal. However, I think there's a bigger issue in that these trucks and their place in the game, it's not super clear what the real place is in the game. They're not going to be that useful. They'll be a little bit useful, but like for me, I'm already like through half the map. So, or well, I guess not half. They keep coming out with new maps, and I'm just getting into them. So, yeah. So I'm trying to keep up, but let's lower that suspension and get on the road. So I was halfway through the maps. Now I think we've rolled that back a little bit, and I'm not even close. But I could see these being useful, you know, in some of the maps, on some of the areas. Any kind of road work, like mid to dirt road work, they're fine. Like medium-duty trucks. But they're not going to do well in like heavy mud, deep mud, snow, like deep snow. Russia. They're going to be their strength really is these kind of roads, the Michigan type roads, the snowy roads in the Yukon that are in the second half of the map, not the first half, but the peak, Big Salmon Peak. These trucks work fine in Big Salmon Peak on the paved portion of the map. Not so great if you have to go off-roading. Once again, there's just better trucks, and that was, you know. You'll see in the longer one, Micah said, you know, his problem is that there's always a truck that does it better with this kit. So, yeah, these are cool and stuff, but there's always a truck elsewhere that does it better. And that's kind of sad. You can see here, those tires, they're keeping me up out of the mud. They are. And so we're getting traction. Now, once again, this truck does not have diff lock in the sense that we know it, and it doesn't have all-wheel drive, but yet the wheels seem to be working in a limited slip fashion. They don't, especially that front set. The back set kind of works like the normal ones do, but you can see here the front set, they're all turning, and that's, I'm okay, then this is where it's lame. These wheels are actually lifting my truck up high enough that I'm not getting traction. So if I lower it, I can almost guarantee that we're going to get right through it. There we go. So not always a good thing. Not impressed. Anyway, but that's true of any of the trucks that have these tag lifts. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely had fun making it. And do I think the pack's worth it? Like I said, it's up to you. I mean, if you love Western Star and you're collecting all the Western Stars, then yes. If you happen to be kind of a just a collector in general, yeah, absolutely. You want to have all the trucks in the game that they made because they're cool. Absolutely, it's worth it because it's $6. Once again, we're talking less money than a fast food meal at this point. It's about the same price as a cup of Starbucks. You got to keep people get out of. I can't believe I got to pay $6 because it's not even included in the season pass. I paid for the season pass. It's not included. Okay, listen. Calm down. Calm down. It costs less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. It's going to be okay. So, but, you know, I get your point, too. I mean, I get that side of it. I definitely see people being upset because it wasn't included. But they've been doing this since day one. All the DLCs have been, like the specialized trucks, the Apache, the Jeeps, the Land Rover, the 49X, the Brigadier. They're all trucks that have been outside of that you paid for it season pass. Season pass gets you the maps and the trucks that are included with those maps. It does not get you the extra trucks. So that kind of sucks for those of you that aren't happy about that, but that's just how they did it. So anyway, that's it, guys. Those are the Western Star 47X, 47X variant, and 59X, 57X. What the 57X? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Have a great night. Be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up always help. And I'd like to see you again soon. Bye.